my partner gave me some hard truths. She said, Dan, when you leave your office and then come downstairs, you're quite often distracted. You're enslaved by your phone. You can be negative and you can be also crass. You're not showing up as the person you think you are. And you know what? She was right. So I want you to picture a pyramid. And at the very base of our pyramid are standards. Very important that we define our standards on how we want to show up in every department of life. Next layer in our pyramid is our capacity. To give 100, you have to be 100. Capacity is not luxury. Capacity is your responsibility. Now, the next layer above is service. This is where a lot of us will commit a lot of our time, energy, focus, and commitment. Yet it's third in our high performance pyramid. And our very top of the pyramid is welcome to Profit Made Simple. Well, 2 weeks ago, I had an incredible opportunity, and that was to go to the High Performance Father Retreat in Mount Kosciuszko as an expert and presenter. Now, this was a very different audience for me. It was a room full of dads and men that are striving to get better in 3 areas of life: family, self, and service. And I wanted to prepare a new presentation, something that was appropriate for that audience and that hits them between the eyes. And I shared with them the high performance pyramid, something that I created that I now want to share with you. It is essentially the pillars to a life that enables you to have an incredible legacy and have amazing impact with those that you love and care about most. So I want you to picture a pyramid. And at the very base of our pyramid are standards. What are standards? It's a term that we bandy around a lot. But essentially what standards are the invisible rules to your life. They determine how you show up. They are also how those closest would describe you. Goals are really important. They're all about achievement and motivation, but it is standards that shape us. And we need standards in all of our areas of life because we can have really high standards in certain areas. Health. We may go to the gym all the time. We may count our macros. We may supplement and sleep at the highest level. We may track everything on a Whoop or an Oura Ring, yet we have low standards when it comes to showing up as a father. And so we're always on our phone. We're never prioritizing the events to attend at school or any extracurricular activities. So it's very important that we define our standards on how we want to show up in every department of life. Now, what are some simple examples of standards? It can be the time that you wake up. It can be how much you use your phone. It can be the type of language and tone that you use with your kids. It can be how many times you exercise. It can be how much you are committed to in terms of learning and development. There are so many countless examples, and we must uphold the standards. And when I shared this with the audience, it hit them. It hit them between the eyes because what so many of the amazing men in that room realized is that they had some really high standards, particularly when it came to work. They were working hard. They were showing up as their best self. They were up here. But their standards on their home life, they weren't aligned. They were giving their families the scraps. And they knew that they needed to raise those standards. And this occurred with me very recently. Now, my partner, and I absolutely love her for this, gave me some hard truths. She's very good at it. She said, Dan, when you leave your office and then come downstairs, you're quite often distracted. You're enslaved by your phone. You can be negative and you can be also crass. You're not showing up as the person you think you are. And you know what? She was right. I had lowered my standards. I had compromised my standards with the very people that I care about most. And I shared this with my coach and he said, this is incredible feedback, Dan, because now you can do something about it. You know that that's not the standard you want for you and your life, but let's talk about how we can show up with the standards that you want, with presence, with energy, with intention. Let's show up as the dad you know you can be, the partner you know you can be. And so what we did is we designed a ritual because I have a home office and I was quite often taking the baggage from work into the home space. And he said there needs to be a ritual and a transition. You need to put the phone in the drawer. You need to do some deep breath work. If your energy's low, play some inspiring, motivating music. And then you need to repeat the mantra, how am I showing up? What kind of energy do I want to elicit? And I've done so, and things have shifted enormously. So what standards do you have? You need to define them. They can't be nebulous. What standards do you have for your health? What standards do you have for your relationship? What standards do you have for work? What standards, if you have kids, do you have as a father or a mother? Very important that you define these and then you live a life that reflects those, that is aligned with those. So that's the very base of our pyramid. Now, the next layer in our pyramid is our capacity. To give 100, you have to be 100. Yet so many of us, we want to give 100. The ambition, the intention is there, yet we're running on near empty. We're trying to give 100, yet there's only 20 in reserve. And so the byproduct of that is we don't show up as our best selves. We show up stressed, we show up overwhelmed, we show up anxious, we show up burnt out. And so when I think about capacity, I think about it on 3 different levels. Number 1, our physical capacity. We know when we've had a shit night's sleep how difficult the day is. We know when we don't exercise that we don't have the same level of energy and we have more stress. We know when we put garbage in our mouth, we don't have the same level of vibrancy. So we need to get these right. And I think about it on 4 different levels. I'm not going to dive in deep on these. There's other amazing resources, but from an exercise perspective, you need to train on a regular basis. You need to do some strength training, pick up some heavy shit and put it back down. You need to do some stuff that gets your heart rate up. The 2 biggest predictors of longevity is your VO2 max, how much we can develop that aerobic capacity, and how much muscle you have. So start making deposits now for a long, fruitful, vibrant life. Nutrition. I'm not going to dive into a nutrition lecture, but it's pretty simple. Eat less processed shit. Drink less alcohol. Eat less sugar. Eat more of the stuff that nourishes and feeds your body. Number 3, down regulation. What are we doing to calm the nervous system down? How are we recovering? Is it ice baths? Is it saunas? Is it breath work? Is it mindfulness? Is it non-sleep deep relaxation? Is it journaling? I don't care what it is for you, as long as it fills your cup up. And then number 4 is sleep. One of the most powerful ways you can raise your capacity and energy. In the audience at this presentation was an ex-Wallaby. And he said, Dan, it's just amazing. Given all the science and developments that we are seeing today, nothing even gets close to recovery than sleep. And so do you have a sleep routine? Do you have a reverse alarm that tells you to go to bed at night? Do you have a cool, dark, quiet environment? Are you actually doing something to decompress at night, whether it's some self-myofascial release, some mindfulness work? Are you doing a brain dump so we get all the running thoughts out of our head so we can have a better quality sleep? So that's the physical capacity. The next layer is our emotional capacity. Tony Robbins, when asked, what is the number one skill that you need to develop to be successful in any realm of life? He said it's emotional regulation. Yet when our emotional capacity is low, we blow the lid. A team member does something small and we lose our shit. One of our kids drops milk on the floor and you blast them. Stephen Covey says there's a stimulus and there's a response. But what most people fail to realize is that there is a freedom to choose what you do in between. So the stimulus may be a team member puts up a piece of content that you're not happy with that doesn't reflect your brand on social media. That's the stimulus. Now the response is that you can chew them out, but you've got the freedom to choose. Is that actually the best response that I can take right now? No, it's not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give them some constructive feedback. I'm going to ensure that we put in systems so that doesn't happen again. We want to develop our emotional capacity. We're not like a time bomb that is just looking to go off at any or every time. Our last capacity is mental capacity. How can we develop our ability to make great decisions, to be creative, to be innovative, to act with decisiveness? And for me, it's all about giving ourselves more space. Quite often, we are just enslaved to our phones. We are mindlessly and constantly scrolling. And if we're not on our phone, then we're binging Netflix or news, not things that actually enable us to think better. What we need is we need more white space. What we need is we need more time for introspection. What we need is more time to journal and reflect. That's how we develop our mental capacity. So in our high performance pyramid, we've looked at our standards, our foundation. If that is weak, then everything else will crumble above it. The next layer is our capacity, our physical, emotional, our mental capacity. How can we have a cup that is always full so we show up as the highest version of ourselves? The layer above. You see, capacity is not luxury. Capacity is your responsibility to your family, to your partner, to your business, to your community. Now, the next layer above is service. Now, this is where a lot of us will commit a lot of our time, energy, focus, and commitment. Yet it's third in our high performance pyramid, and we do it without solidifying our standards or our capacity. And therefore, we give our lives to it. Why? Because this is where the applause is the loudest. This is where we are recognized in the world. This is where we get the likes on social media. This is where we get the credibility and the prestige. Service is incredibly important. I want you to have a phenomenal business that has outstanding impact in the world and that rewards you with lots of money. But only once we've solidified the standards and the capacity. And service extends just beyond your business or your job. It's also how you show up for your family. It's also how you show up for your community. And it's lastly, and most importantly, how you show up for yourself. Now, a lot of people will confuse service and validation. Validation is a hole you fall into. Service is a path that you walk. It is how you show up when nobody is watching. So I want you to ask yourself, are you serving for approval or alignment? Because it's aligned with your highest values and mission. I also want you to ask yourself this. What would your service look like? What would your business look like? What would your impact in the world look like if your standards were locked in and your capacity was full? Here's the good news. That version of you already exists. We just have to clear the noise and the interference. And our very top of the pyramid is significance. Significance is not about what you achieve, but rather it is about what you become. It is what your family, your community will remember long after the titles, the trophies, the revenue, the likes disappear. How will they describe you? What kind of impact will you have had in their lives? Now, quite often we mistake success and significance. So I'm going to read with you the difference between success and significance. Success is external, significance is internal. Success is visible, significance, it's felt. Success is measurable, significance is remembered. Success is achievement focused, significance is character focused. Success is more about income, significance is more about presence. Success is about titles, significance is about tone and energy. Success is about the reputation, significance is the consistency, how you show up. Success is about external validation. Significance is how you handle pressure, your character. Success is what the world saw. Significance is how you showed up when no one was watching. Success is about the applause. Significance is about the legacy. So which side of those two have you been living? So there we have our high performance pyramid. It starts with the standards. We want at least 3 standards across the 4 key areas of our life. We then want to develop our capacity. How are we going to enhance our physical, mental, and emotional capacity so we show up at the highest level of self? We then want to think about our service. How can we have a business that is in alignment to what matters most to us in the world? How can we have the greatest level of impact? And the byproduct of that impact will be a profitable enterprise. And then last but not least, the very pinnacle of the pyramid itself is our legacy. How do we want to be remembered by those closest to us? So there you have the high performance pyramid. 70 men in that room were moved by this model. I hope it's challenged you, and I hope it's forced you to do some deeper introspection and have a look at those 4 layers and identify which one of those can be optimized, improved, so you can live a purposeful and fulfilling life. Thank you so much for watching.